All right, we are live. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today, we're going to be doing a live stream, the Ballground and Faithful discussion, where we come on and we talk about Barcelona. This time, I have my first guest. It is Pablo from Barcelona Universal. You want to say hello?
Yep, hello. I hope everyone's doing well, and thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Yep, so in this live stream, what we're going to be doing is going through all the links around Barcelona in each position. So we're going to talk about the goalkeepers, center backs, full backs, midfield, and attack. Give you guys some updates about Messi's contract renewal after that. And then after that, we're going to get into your questions. So make sure you have your questions ready. Maybe about 20 minutes after we're into the live stream, we'll get into your questions. So let's start off. We're going to talk about the goalkeepers. Now, there are a lot of reports coming out saying that Neto wants to leave. So they're saying is going to stay off 100%. Neto wants to leave the club. The club are reluctant to sell him because they don't really want to trust Iñaki Peña, for the first month of La Liga and the Copa del Rey and the Champions League. So in that case, if Iñaki Peña is not the backup goalkeeper, he's going to be leaving the club, but it's going to be a sale or a loan move. I'm not quite too sure yet. But right now, the club are, on the fence on what to do with the goalkeeper situation. So for me, what I would do personally, I would sell Neto and promote Iñaki Peña. Trusting him for that first month, is it going to be a big risk? Yes, but I think the money should be going elsewhere unless we can find a good goalkeeper for a very, very cheap deal. I think it's pretty much going to be Iñaki Peña or nothing. I think, Neto, he's basically been frozen out of the team since January. He did not play the Spanish Super Cup, did not play the Copa del Rey. He's played, I think, one league game. That was the final game against Eibar because, Ter Stegen went for surgery. So, Pablo, what would you do in the goalkeeper situation? And if you were to bring one in, who would you bring in?
Yeah, I mean, the goalkeeper situation is it's quite hard to say because, like you say, maybe the even ideal thing would be that we keep hold of Neto and he has a similar role that he had last season, where he played the first months of the league, and I thought he did a decent job, to be fair. He is about as good as it gets as a backup goalkeeper in Europe, to be fair, but like you said, it's almost unfair on him because he wants to leave, and I think what we were all thinking is that then Iñaki Peña was going to be the number 2. Right now, the club don't seem to trust him, but it's probably the smartest thing to do. Sell Neto, get some funds, use that elsewhere, and then use Iñaki Peña as the number 2. But that would have to require, a lot of trust in Iñaki Peña. He's going to be playing some big La Liga games, and if they slot in like a Clásico, say, in the first month of the season, then what the club are saying is, hey, we want Iñaki Peña in goal for the Clásico. So look, there's risks. So look, I mean, that's going to have to be the decision of the club. I think the smart thing to do would be, like you said, sell Neto, use Peña, but I mean, let's see. Maybe they go out and buy someone else if they don't trust Peña, and maybe both of these guys leave, which would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. So right now, the rumors are that we're being linked to 2 goalkeepers. Jordi Messi, not really that concrete. It's been, here and there. But Pau Lopez has emerged over the past few days and it's been coming in from good reports. There's some people in the live chat saying we missed out on Donnarumma. Donnarumma we were just used for them to get more money for PSG, so I don't see him coming in. But these are the 2 that I think are most likely. For me personally, without a shadow of a doubt, I go for Jordi Messi. I don't want Pau Lopez anywhere near this club. If you're an OG fan of Barcelona, you remember back in 2015, what he did to Messi and Suarez. I don't want this guy, and of course, former Espanyol player as well. Don't want him anywhere near the club. But apparently, he's on a fairly cheap deal, and he is a fairly decent keeper. I think right now he's being linked more to Marseille, but Barcelona snooping around. But I'll go to Messi. He's from La Masia. He was the 3rd goalkeeper, won the treble back in 2015. Any of these goalkeepers that you like, Pablo?
So what? Any other goalkeepers or between these 2?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with what you said on Pau Lopez. I don't get the way that he's really an option with his Espanyol past. I think Masip would be a good option, to be fair. I do, but like we said earlier, it could be worth actually just like putting the trust in Peña. But look, Masip, he's played in La Liga, so he would have played against all of the La Liga teams countless times with Valladolid. So it could be a smart option. Like you said, it's not really concrete right now, is it? But it could be a decent option getting Masip.
Mm-hmm. There are some people in the chat recommending Unai Simón from Athletic Bilbao. I think, again, he's going to have a big release clause there. That's going to be very unlikely. Yeah. I think we're looking for a cheap option out there if we're going to replace Iñaki Peña. So that's the goalkeeper situation. Let's go into this, what I think is probably the biggest situation at the club, and that is the center backs. Right now, we have 6 center backs unregistered as the first team center backs, and it's now needs to get down to at least 4. We're looking like we're going to go into the season with 5. That will have give Koeman the option to have a 3 at the back. Also, Gerard Piqué, Mingueza. You don't like Mingueza. You think him as a lower one, like that can, come in, replace, right back, left back, center back, and JRPK to be more so of the veterans. I don't expect to see them too that much. For me, it'll be more so Araujo, Eric Garcia, whatever we bring in. So right now, reports are Umtiti's going to go out on loan. Barcelona want to sell Lenglet, but he doesn't want to leave, and no one wants to buy him. Do you think this is going to be a big problem with Barcelona going into the season with right now 6 center backs?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, especially if we're looking to bring someone in, like right now, it's impossible. It's impossible for us to sign a centre back. And like all of the guys, I'm sure in your videos, in my videos, all the guys in the comments, we all want a new centre back at Barcelona, because if we want to be challenging for La Liga, for the Champions League, then you've got to have a top defence. And I think another centre back, a good elite centre back, is needed, like a Laporta sort of character. But with these 6 guys, it's going to be hard. Look, like Hafed said, Eric Garcia, Mingueza, Piqué, Araujo, they'll be staying. Umtiti, we're hearing he could be going out on loan. So if he goes out on loan, of course, that's another one down. Todibo got sold yesterday. And then it's down to Lenglet. If Lenglet and Umtiti don't go, then I can't see another one coming in. And it's going to be hard to get a good price for Lenglet. So centre-back signing, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, I'm sure. But I think we all want one, but it's going to be hard. But with those 6 right now, and Lenglet and Umtiti would both have to go, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the only really center back we've been linked to very strongly is, of course, Aymeric Laporte. We've had some, Romagnoli here and there, Lisandro Martinez here and there, but the one that's been coming up all the time is Aymeric Laporte. And the only way, same thing, everyone's saying the same thing, you have to get rid of Lenglet and Umtiti to bring in Aymeric Laporte. And that's going to prove very difficult. We're looking right now at a loan movie for Umtiti, then selling Lenglet, because there's no way you can loan out both. We're going to end up loaning out the whole entire team at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Firstly, do you think Aymeric Laporte's a good center back? Do you think he would fit in? And secondly, how much would you pay? Would you offer a swap deal, Roberto plus cash, pay straight cash? Because we are, pretty short on cash. So what do you think about that? I'll tell you my opinion quickly. I think Roberto plus cash, 20 million, maybe 15, something like that. I think that would get the deal over the line. But of course, if they remember, Man City did activate his release clause, and they paid 62 million euros, something like that. Yeah. So we're pretty much getting him for a bargain and a half. But he wants to leave Man City. They're going to go for Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, so they're going to have to make some sales at some point. So what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, to answer your first question, I think he's a very good centre back. I think he fits what we would want as a left centre back very, very well. It would feel like a big upgrade in our defence, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Laporta. In terms of whether it's possible or what I would do to get it, what it would take, I think we're looking at, like, in terms of price tag, probably around 50 million. And of course, a good way to go about that would be through a swap deal. But I'm not sure whether Man City is stupid enough to be accepting, Roberto plus cash. And they could. But if I was on a Man City fan point of view, I'd be thinking, what are you doing? Do not accept that. So I still think it's going to be so difficult to get Laporta. If we generate funds, we look at, if we generate funds from Neto, Lenglet, Junior Firpo, Braithwaite, then you know what? Why not? We can go for Laporta. We can pay 30, 40 million plus a player, for example, if need be, and that could happen. But it's going to take a lot to get Laporta, and players are going to have to be sold. That's the key.
Yeah. Well, right now we're hearing that Roberto's worth around 25 million in the market with 1 year left on his contract. So if you want to match the value, you're looking like Roberto plus 25 million. So yeah. I do have an outside shout for center back that we could bring in. I think he's a former Barcelona player. That comes from Holland. We need to bring this guy back in, man. I'm telling you, this guy pocketed Ronaldo yesterday. Bring him back in. I think, oh my God. He come in. You know what? I think on a 1 year loan, he'd come in and he would do a job. I think he would, just injuries, man. I want to ask you quickly about him because, he came to Barcelona in 2015. He signed under, Bartomeu's first year. He was at the club until 2020 or 2019. He had so many injuries. But you remember that, 6 months with him and Piqué as the center back pairing? Oh, my God. We got the clean sheet at the Bernabeu. We beat Real Sociedad at the Anoeta. Just injuries, man, that killed this guy. But I thought I'd bring it up because, he put in a great masterclass yesterday against Ronaldo. So
you did.
I wouldn't mind that. You know what? If he was 10 years younger, I'd go for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to the fullbacks now. So the 3 that are being rumored to leave the club at the moment are, we touched upon, Roberto, Junior Firpo, and Jordi Alba. So right now, Junior Firpo is actually closer to a move to Leeds United instead of AC Milan. Jordi Alba, the club wanted to listen to offers for him and maybe would accept, a swap deal or a straight transfer. But Jordi Alba communicated to the club yesterday that he's going to stay no matter what. Roberto, he's kind of on the fence, open to a move, but he wants to, preferably stay. Nothing really coming in for him as well. So what's your plan in the fullback position? Because we all know Dest and and Emerson are going to be staying. Of course, Emerson, by the way, now being to Inter Milan, so Inter Milan maybe out of the race for Emerson is very, very good. But what would you do in the left back situation? Because Roberto, he's kind of just going to leave no matter what. You can consider him a right back or a midfielder. But left back, what would you do there?
Yeah, I mean, touching on Roberto quickly, let's see what happens. Either renewal or sale. But like you said, with Emerson and Dest, I don't know. It's going to be hard for him to get a spot on in midfield as well. Jordi Alba, I don't really feel comfortable selling Alba. I think he was one of our better performers last season, but I think the club maybe see that, look, we want to renew the team. He's got a big wage. We can bring in Gaia. That could be an option. And Junior Firpo is on the way out. You know, we're hearing he's off to Leeds, so that's cash for Barcelona. Of course, we would need 2 left backs going into the new season, though. So if they're thinking of selling both Alba and Junior Firpo, then, well, you know, they'd have to make some signings. But I think my initial idea going into the window was sell Firpo, keep Alba, move on Roberto as well. Probably, I think it's time now. But yeah, of course, you know what we're hearing is that it could be hard to get a top centre back, a top left back, on top of Alba. So that it's difficult at left back. It really is.
Mm-hmm. So the targets at left back right now are Marcos Alonso and Jose Gaia. There've been other links, about Pedraza from Villarreal. You had Angelino from RB Leipzig, but those are more Gosens as well. But those are all more so left wing backs, not a natural left back. Of course, for me, it's Jose Gaia without a shadow of a doubt. I think getting him on a deal to come to Barcelona is going to be difficult because Valencia do not want to sell him. They're asking for his release clause. He's kind of on this fence. He's kind of like Roberto. Like, I would prefer to stay at Valencia. They had good players, good money, all that sort of stuff. But I would be open to going to the best club in Spain and Barcelona. I think to get him, we're looking at. I would love to just offer Braithwaite in a straight swap. But I think it would look like we have to offer Braithwaite plus some cash, or maybe Braithwaite Alena plus cash. What I mentioned in my video the other day is what I would do is offer Alena, so bring it to the Premier League. Get that 15 million from Braithwaite and then use that in the swap. So basically, essentially, it's a Braithwaite Alena swap for Jose Gaia. Marcos Alonso is like the last resort out there. He's going to be cheap. He wants to leave Chelsea. Well, you're a Chelsea fan. You can let me know about him. Right now, his role at the club is basically a left back to back up to Chilwell. He'd be open to leaving, and he's going to be open to staying as well. But of course, he wants the game time. So I think we all know that you want Jose Gaia as well. But give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, like I touched on before, I really wanted Gaia to be almost like next to Alba and competing for each other. But from what we're hearing, that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. It seems like it's going to be one or the other, and then like Alonso would be the backup. Touching on Alonso, I mean, he had some good years at Chelsea, especially under Antonio Conte. But he's of course behind the pecking order to Chilwell now. When Tuchel came to the club, he got more game time in the back three at left wing back. So he's kind of acted as Chilwell's deputy for the months that Tuchel's been in charge of Chelsea. But I think Alonso is one of the players that could definitely be leaving Chelsea this summer. Would it be a good signing for Barcelona? I don't really think so, to be honest. I don't think it would be a signing worth making. I really don't. And it almost would have been better for Barcelona if they wanted a sub-left back to keep Junior Firpo, in my opinion, instead of Alonso almost. Alonso's 31 years old. He's definitely better in a back three than a back four. He's only getting slower. So I don't think it would be ideal. I don't think it would be ideal to get rid of Alba and Firpo and bring in Gaia and Alonso. It almost seems like we're weakening the squad to me, but it could be refreshing it. So let's see. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we can barely bring in one left back. How are we going to bring in two? I think Jordi Alba still has at least 1 or 2 years at the Edison level. And again, he's on a lot of he's on big wages, and then we need to reduce that for sure. And you brought up a good point about Alonso only working in the back three. That was the big story there. He came in under Antonio Conte, three at the back, did well. Then who was after Conte? I think it was
Sarri.
Marcio Sarri. Tried him at left back, didn't really work. So he played more so actually Emerson there, the Italian. So someone brought up a good point here. They said about Alex Grimaldo. I think if it's not Jose Gaia, it should be him, to be honest. 20 million is what we're being reported. Of course, plays for Benfica in the Liga NOS. I think he'd be an excellent option. Of course, we did sell him under Luis Enrique in 2014. I think he'd be a great option there. He's very cheap. He's actually cheaper than Gaia, but of course, Jose Gaia is a better player, La Liga experience, all that sort of stuff. So what do you think about Grimaldo? Do you think he's going to be you'd be a good option there?
Yeah, I think Grimaldo was always like it felt like the natural heir to Alba almost for a few years, actually, because he came from La Masia. But the option of Gaia just came up over the years, and he started to get more importance in the Spanish national team. And for me, it's just kind of that La Liga experience. When I watch Gaia, he seems very assured at left back, and I feel like Grimaldo could be one of those guys who could be bright. He could have some great games, and in other games he could just not give us that security at the back. So that's why I always kind of sided with Gaia on that one.
Yeah, so for me, I think we can both agree on this. It has to be Jose Gaya, if not maybe Alex Grimaldo, but stay away from those left wing backs like Gosens, Marcos Alonso. So we'll see what happens. It's clear that Barcelona want a left back this summer, so we'll see how it goes. Now the next position is of course the midfield, and of course the three going out right now are Pjanic, Coutinho, and Alena. I didn't include a Fernandes in this picture because he's just default. He has to go no matter what. Pjanic, we're hearing Juventus loan move, nothing really interested. I think we're hearing Chelsea may be interested in buying him, but highly doubt that. Them and PSG. Coutinho, same situation. No one wants him. We're hearing maybe I said this in my video. I don't know if you watched it. If you didn't, it's fine. I think Coutinho will do the preseason with Barcelona, and then last transfer day, 24, 48 hours before the window closes, you'll see some Premier League clubs like Arsenal, Leicester looking for that cam last second. I think Coutinho will fit that profile. Right now, we're hearing in Barcelona that they think that he's going to be staying because no one wants to pay a transfer fee. No one wants to get him on loan, then pay half his wages because he's on 400 grand a week. So half that's like 200K a week. So that's astronomical. And then on the Alena, it's going to be easy to loan move. We're hearing that he may extend his contract for 1 year to what Dennis Suarez did a few years ago and go out on loan so we can still retain his value because no one really wants to buy him. Personally, of course, we prefer to sell him right now. So give me your thoughts on the three. For me, I guess it's going to be all three are going to have to leave this summer. Then we're going to have to bring in a new midfielder. We'll talk about that. But give me your thoughts on the three midfielders. No Fernandes talk. We don't know he's going to
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll forget about Fernandes. I think all three of these guys probably have to leave. I agree. Pjanic, I think we'll go back to Italy, like you mentioned. It will probably have to be a loan because I don't think that Barcelona are going to be able to get a good enough fee for him that what they want. We did the Arthur Pjanic swap deal for like 60 and 70 million, which was ridiculous. Then you got Coutinho. I didn't see your video, but it's a really good point that you made. I think that can actually happen. Similar to when he did the preseason with us and then went to Bayern Munich like the day of our first.
He did like a few training sessions. It wasn't really like he didn't play the actual game. I think they benched. I think he was the game against Napoli in Detroit. He was benched.
That was his last game. Yeah,
he was on the verge. Yeah, so they didn't want to risk him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it was the first La Liga game when we lost 1-0 to Athletic Bilbao with the Aduriz bicycle kick, and like Coutinho was up in the stands because on the day we'd heard the news that he was going to Bayern Munich. So I think something similar to that can happen for sure. Earlier on in the window, clubs might not want to pay money, but last minute they could agree on a loan. And Alena, I think will definitely go. Yeah, Alena, I think will definitely go. On loan in a swap deal. Yeah, I think all three will go and have to go actually for us to, keep the squad thin enough.
If you look at that, by the way, I would say that's about 750K a week worth of players right there. You're looking at Pjanic 300, Coutinho 400. I just guess Alena probably like 50 or 75K. I mean, I could not believe my eyes when I saw that leak that Pjanic was the fourth highest earner at the club. Because it goes Messi, Griezmann, Coutinho, Pjanic. Like these two are the top four highest earners at the club. And Barcelona just want to get rid of them desperately. We'll see what happens. I think Alena 100%. We're looking at Pjanic. It depends if Juventus get Locatelli. If they do, there probably won't be so much getting Pjanic. But of course, the manager does want him. He's requested for him. He wants to return. It looks like it's going to be a low move. But for me, it's a low move. Pay all his wages because I don't want to pay a dime for him. Then Alena will be an easy exit. Now we haven't been linked to that many midfielders, to be honest. We've been linked to. I put these three up because I didn't include Wijnaldum obviously because he's gone to PSG. And other than Wijnaldum, I think these three have been the most rumored. Yeah, Mikel Merino from Sociedad. Apparently, Koeman really likes him, but we're not going to get him because he's going to be Sociedad asking for his release clause. That's 60 million, so that's not going to happen. Gundogan could be a good shout. They're going to have to get rid of players with Jack Grealish and Harry Kane coming in. Well, not Harry Kane yet, but Jack Grealish for sure. Fabian Ruiz again going to be too expensive, 60 million again. We don't have the money. So I think out of the three, if I had to pick one, no money being involved, I would go for Fabian Ruiz. I think I liked him since Real Betis. Gundogan is a quick fix when I'm minded. I think Mikel Merino is going to be a big risk. What do you think about these three midfielders?
Yeah, it's such a weird one, the midfield situation. This is probably why they wanted Wijnaldum, because we know that we've got no money, so it's almost like a free transfer would have been perfect in there. But all of these guys are going to cost too much money, really, even though they are options we've been linked with. They would be good signings for Barcelona. I really like Merino, actually, from Real Sociedad. I think he's been good for a few years now in the Spanish national team as well. I thought he was unlucky not to be called up for the Euros. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for Barcelona to spend any real cash on a midfielder. It could be a late loan deal or a late market opportunity pops up where this veteran centre mid is available for 10 million and Barcelona think, yep, we'll snatch that up, a few days before deadline day. who knows? It could be one of those things. But if not, it could just be worth trusting La Masia in midfield, to be honest, because it's going to be hard for us to set aside a load of cash to actually go out and buy a midfielder.
See, I disagree with that, because you cannot. We have a midfield three of Busquets, De Jong, and Pedri, Mariba, and Kipoch on the bench. You cannot go into a season with 4 La Masia players in the midfield. So basically, our only veteran in the midfield is De Jong, 22, and Busquets.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's gonna happen, because you can't. They're gonna get killed by the media. One bad performance, one bad pass, they'll get killed. We've seen it a lot. I think I think the center back and the center mid is a must. I think we can survive another year with Firpo and Jordi Alba, but this is the thing about Wijnaldum, right? Everyone didn't want him. I didn't want him. I'll be clear on that. But I said, you know what? It's midfielder, quick fix. We can worry about it another time. And it's looking like it's going to come to bite us back in the arse, as the UK say. But, I mean, there is one midfield shout that I think honestly, he has a good chance. That's Paulinho. I mean, free transfer.
I knew it was coming.
Free transfer. He knows the Barcelona way. Messi loves him. It's like it's set in stone, I think, for me right now. I think with that, because he was not linked whatsoever. But then he did an interview with Mundo Deportivo. I think Laporta is looking at that like, last second, I'll come in for you. If I can find anything else, maybe, because he's gonna be he'll agree to a 100K a week contract or a 50K a week contract plus variables, all that sort of stuff. Of course, he'd be a free transfer. Did well at Barcelona. No one wanted him. We paid 37 for him. We sold him on for 50. Did very well. You can't deny that. But of course, people are not saying he's a few years older now. But I would risk it on him if there's. I said this in my videos. Last resort, nothing else. Because I'd rather bring him in honestly than trust him. You can go Gonzalez and the Orellana, Ricky Push, Mariba. You need some experience there. So I'm going to ask you, that's not really, the Ronaldo one was, of course, completely a joke. But Paulinho one's a little bit of a joke, but it could be, an option there. So what do you think about it? Also, by the way, there's reports coming out right now that Barcelona want to loan Pjanic as soon as possible, and they want to loan him or sell him before July the 12th, which is, of course, preseason start date. So we'll see how this happens, what happens with it. But yeah, give me your thoughts about Paulinho.
Yeah, just quickly, this is a good time to do the live stream, really, because there's loads of Barcelona exit news coming out right now, isn't there? There's a Roberto contract, there's loads of people being sold, Junior Firpo, Pjanic, Braithwaite. Yep, Conrad's gone as well, Todibo went yesterday, so things are starting to pick up in the Barcelona market. I mean, in terms of Paulinho, I love the guy, actually. I thought he did really well at Barcelona, but...
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I don't think we could get away with bringing him back. It would almost feel like accepting like mediocrity, and I just can't see it happening. Even though it would be one last dance and it would be hilarious, but
would you be disappointed if you saw it, or would you be like, you know what, it's better than nothing?
I wouldn't be disappointed, because I just couldn't help but feel happy about it. But at the same time, if I set myself down, I thought, we're Barcelona and we're signing 33-year-old Paulinho from he went back to China, didn't he? It just feels a little bit like, come on, what are we doing? I get your point about too many La Masia players. Obviously, in an ideal world, we'd have some elite midfielders coming into the club, and we had a lot of money in the past. But that's the situation we're in now, and it's probably best if we actually just trust in La Masia, make another one like a Nico or something, instead of bringing like a Paulinho in. But obviously, if we can get a good market opportunity midfielder, then by all means we can do that. But yeah. Okay,
let's say you're Joan Laporta. He's like the last option out there. It's either Paulinho or Nico Gonzalez to have the Orellana and all those players on the bench. What would you do?
I just stick with La Masia, honestly, I think.
That's going to be Pablo out.
That's where we disagree then, yeah.
Yeah, because for me, it's just, I've seen it a bunch of times, these La Masia players. I think for me, it's all about the youth, of course, but it's just, you cannot rely on so many for a season. You don't have one or two on the bench.
You don't want to force it.
Exactly, because you force it and then they come in, they don't perform well. They'll have look at Mariba. I'll ask you about this real quick about Mariba. I don't think he was that great in his spell. Like, he had a good game against Osasuna only because he scored a goal. Other than that, I think the Sevilla game 2-0 in the Liga, he came on, did well. Yeah. Other than that, he's been, I'd say, average. And I get it. He's has the profile of a powerhouse, strong midfielder, all that sort of stuff. But I can only count. He's played more games than Ricky Puch. I don't know if it's more minutes, but definitely more games.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Ricky Puch has done better, and I think Mariba has not shown that much. I would sign his renewal, of course. I think he's a very promising midfielder. But this is why I think we need to bring in an experienced midfielder.
Yeah, it's a good point on Moriba. I do think of as if he's kind of been forced in because he's the profile from La Masia. Look at this. It's a highly developed young midfielder who we kind of want to force into the first team and say, look, he's ours. But it does feel a little bit at times that we've just been putting him on just because he's the young La Masia midfielder more than whether we actually want to use him as a good option.
There is someone in the comments saying a little move for Donny van de Beek. I would do that ahead of Paulinho, of course, but I'm not saying bring in Paulinho, right? I'm saying if he's the last option out there, I'd rather have him on the bench than 3 La Masia players. What I'm trying to say. And some people are saying Goretzka as well. That's no chance. He's going to stay with Bayern Munich. Low move for Kimmich. Let me talk about Donny van de Beek real quick. I would take him at Barcelona. I wanted him when he was available for 35 million, and he went to Manchester United because we weren't really. Koeman was really the manager at the time. They were hearing rumors like, if Koeman comes in, he wants Donny van der Beek right now, all that sort of stuff. So, a low move for a year with an option to buy, I'd do it for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Van der Beek could actually be quite a smart loan deal. Actually, there's no real news of it right now. I think we saw it like jotted here and there, but let's see. I think it could be smart.
All right, so that's the midfield done. We're going to get in now to the forwards. And the first forwards I want to talk about are Trincao and Braithwaite. Again, I feel bad because they both have potential, but they're nowhere near the squad. And we're already overstocked in the midfield. I mean, the attack, sorry. Braithwaite, I think, with his stock absolutely rising through the Euros, we need to take advantage of it. I think include him in a swap deal, sell him. I think at first I would take around 10 million for him. Right now, I think nothing less than 20. I think there's a lot of hype around him right now with the goal against Wales in the round 16. So we'll talk about Braithwaite first, and we'll go to Trincao. What would you do with Braithwaite? Would you sell him, include him in a swap deal, or maybe you're out there and you want to keep him?
No, I've stuck with it. I'm trying to have the mindset of trying to bring Barcelona back to the top. So we only really want like elite players or top players. I think we should sell Martin Braithwaite. I really do. Look, all the credit to him for coming in. He didn't force himself into the club. They went and got him, so he obliged. He gave it all he could. But I just don't think he's Barcelona level. End of. And I'd be really happy if he gets a good move to another club and does well there. So I'm hoping for him that he gets that. I'm hoping for us that we get a good price for him, 15 to 20 million euros. Why not? That's kind of around what we paid his release clause for, and I never thought we'd actually ever get that back. So if we got that just because of his great Euros with Denmark, then that would be amazing, wouldn't it? And Denmark have got a good chance of going to the semi-final. So look, let's see what happens with Braithwaite. I think we should sell him though, and hopefully 15, 20 million.
Yeah. I want to ask you a quick side question. Would you consider him as a flop at Barcelona? I think for me, he hasn't played enough games to be even considered a flop. But I see a lot of people saying that, he puts a lot of effort into the team, all that sort of stuff. And I say this every single time. I say it again. If you pay me that, I'll put in effort. I'll put in 200%, right? But at Barcelona, the effort should be guaranteed. So I wouldn't really consider him a flop because he hasn't played that much. But when he's played, I can't say he's been crap. I'd say he's been, decent, okay-ish. Of course, he had that one great week where he scored a brace against Dynamo Kiev, then the league against Osasuna, was playing a striker for us for a little bit because he was just the freshest that we need up top. But would you consider Braithwaite a flop at Barcelona? Because we always going to leave this summer.
I wouldn't consider him a flop because for me, flops are the ones who come in for like 120 million and everyone's saying, wow, look at this amazing player that they've signed, and then they do badly. Braithwaite came in and we knew he was the striker for a relegation threat inside. There was no misconceptions about Braithwaite. We knew what we were signing. He's essentially played exactly how we'd expected. If not, he's been brighter in some parts here and there.
Yeah, so, I think he did better than I expected, to be honest.
Exactly, yeah. So I couldn't call him a flop. Has he done that well? No. He scored 6, 7 goals. We know what sort of player he is. He's not an elite player. That's why I'd sell him this summer. But I wouldn't call him a flop at all. No.
This comment here made me laugh. I just want to show it real quick. I mean, that's just very harsh. Let's move on to Trincao now. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying we don't want to sell Trincao. I'm saying, look, an audacious offer would make us sell him. I think if it's an offer anything more than what we paid for him, 100% we're taking it because you just want to cut your losses. I think a loan move for Trincao is looking more and more likely by each and passing day, unless Dembele does not renew or Dembele is out for a whole year or something like that, and that's the only way that Trincao can really stay, or maybe Ansu Fati's out for another year, something like that, because you have the front six. I'm not going to say, I've said that 1,000 times. You all know who the front six is. And you have, two in Ansu and Dembele who are kind of, working with one leg. But we don't really know much about Ansu because he's still been out for a while. So for me, I'd loan him for sure. Maybe even a 2-year loan to cover the 2 years of Depay and Aguero. Wouldn't mind that. What would you do with him? Loan, sell?
It's really hard with Trincao. I actually like him as a player. I think he's a bright young winger. But I feel as if he got brought in without a specific plan for him almost. It was almost like, oh, he's a good young winger. Let's just buy him. Jorge Mendes kind of just got him to the club, didn't he? What would I do with him? In principle, I'd want to keep him. But like you said, we've got so many attackers. And unless we sell one or two, he's not going to be staying at the club, you'd imagine, Trincao. Unless we go into the season with like 7 or 8 wingers. And we can't forget the other guys we got as well. We need to sell Braithwaite, of course. And then we've got Collado coming up from the B team, who they claimed when they renewed his contract, he was going to be promoted. But I haven't seen any news on that. So I don't know what's happened there. He seems like, 8th or 9th in the pecking order at striker in forward. So, I don't know what's going on with that one either. Trincao, I'd want to keep him because I think he's a bright young player. Honestly, I just feel so harsh getting rid of him after a season, especially a sale. But it's going to be really, really hard for him to stay in this squad. He's just so far behind, so many players in that. After signing Depay and Aguero on top of everyone else staying, a loan move could be most likely.
Yeah, I think, again, the sale's only likely we get offered more than what we paid for him. I wouldn't sell him personally. I'd loan him out for sure because, we're trying to... People are talking about Messi in the chat. We'll talk about Messi in a few minutes. But like I said, we have 2 years left of Messi, and we're trying to win the Champions League. We're not going to win the Champions League with Trincao as the starter or backup in the wing position because we need something for the now. That's why we brought in Depay and Aguero. So I think for that time period, loaning him out would be the best move. But then again, if that offer comes in, we bought Trincao. Then a week later, Leicester offered us 20 million more, and Bartomeu turned it down. So that could arise. I think Premier League, Wolves, I think I'd send him there for sure. It's, all the eyes are in the Premier League, big league, the biggest league. So get him there, let him play. I think under the new manager, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is the new manager the former Braga manager, or is he the former Porto manager?
I think he's former Braga. It's Bruno Lage, is it?
Yeah, so that was Trincao's coach when he was there, right? So.
Well, yeah, it could be. Yeah.
So here, let me check, and you can just. Here, let's talk about. Let me move on to the next topic, and I'll check real quick. So we know these two are going to be leaving, but there are big question marks around Dembele and Griezmann. We'll talk about the boost first because poor man is injured again. Again, it's very simple for me. Renew his contract, he stays. If not, freeze him out or sell him because there's no. We hear reports. There's no way Barcelona can sell him now this summer with him being injured. We could sell him in January, but then it's going to be half the price from now. It's a strong situation. I know, I'd say probably 60% of the Kool-Aid, the fan base, want him sold. I'm on the side where you're not going to get good value for him. 40 million, 50 million for him is not what he's worth. I think he's worth 80 with a good contract. Yeah. And with the injury, I think has pretty much secured him this season. But the question is, will he renew or not? What do you think? Would you renew him? Would you sell him?
I think now in this situation, I'd renew him. Either way, it's a win-win. If we can renew him and get him on a salary cut, it's ideal for him to allow him more time to recover. It's ideal for us because it means he doesn't go for free next summer, which would be a disaster for a 105 million player. And if we renew him, say, till 2024, 2025, it also allows us, say we'd want to, then actually sell him for a good fee next summer. So say he's got 3 years left on his contract going into 2022, then what we can do is demand clubs like Man United, Juventus, whoever, Liverpool, whoever wants him, we can say, 60, 70 million, more that sort of price. We can actually have some legs to stand on. So I think renewing Dembele is just the most natural thing to do now. And it does look like because of the injury, he's going to be a guaranteed Barca player next season. We don't know how much he'll play because of the injury, but he'll eventually come back in November or whatnot, in October. We don't know when, and then he'll start playing. Griezmann, in principle, I always wanted to keep Griezmann. I don't think we'll be able to get a good price for him. And I think he actually had a big role in the team last season, so I just don't really see the need for selling him. But I think the Barcelona have a stance that if a good offer comes for Griezmann, he'll definitely be sold because we were already talking about being over congested in the striker area, and I think the club will feel, if we can get anywhere near 70 million, I still feel for Griezmann now that he's 30 years old, they'll definitely sell him. So that's the Griezmann situation. But with Griezmann, I said in my video yesterday, I can't see a club paying 70 or near that really for Griezmann, so I think he'll stay.
Yeah, I think 60 is the most likely if we're going to get an offer for him. But again, For Griezmann, 100% I'd keep him. I think, like I said, 2 years after Messi got to win the Champions League. I think the front six right now is set in stone with, of course, the pending departures of Braithwaite, Trincao. I mean, not Braithwaite. Braithwaite, Trincao, and Collado. By the way, I just checked on Trincao.
Yeah.
Bruno Lage was actually the Benfica manager, not the Braga manager. So,
there you go.
So on Griezmann, for me, he has to reduce his wages. There's no way we can pay $700K a week. I think if he does not agree to a wage reduction, that's where the big questions come in. I don't even know. If I met with Griezmann, he told me I'm not reducing my wages, I'd be like, well,
yeah, really?
I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do, but I think he will. I think he knows that he's on too much money. I think $700K, at least bring that down to $500, because that's going to be a big drop from the player's point of view. Of course, I think he's worth probably $200, $300, but bringing him down to $500, I think, is more likely. There's people say in the chat that Man City are interested in Griezmann, and they're getting Grealish and Kane. They're not going to get Griezmann. They're not going to pay what Barcelona want for him. You want to offer us, Mahrez, Gundogan, and Laporte? I mean, that'd be a huge offer if that would happen. So I think both these two players will be Barcelona players next season. The question is, will Dembele renew? And the other question is, will Antoine reduce his wages? But we all know that one forward that's going to be staying at Barcelona next season is Leo Messi. Now, we're hearing right now his renewal could be announced at any given point. We all know it's going to be done by the end of this month. We have, 3 days left of this month? 2 days, sorry. So tomorrow's Laporta's birthday. I called Messi's birthday. Now I'm calling Laporta's birthday. It's just joy, absolute joy. What this man suffered to stay at this club, and the wage reduction that he's taken as well. Apparently rumored that he's taken a fat wage reduction. I think him staying at Barcelona is absolutely fantastic. And I don't know, I've mentioned this a lot as well. It shows that there is going to be a good sporting project at Barcelona, the one that Joan Laporta presented to Messi. Because if Laporta said to him, look, we're just going to, ride on your back and hope for the best, Messi would have left 100%. Even though Laporta was the president. So Laporta has presented him a good and strong sporting project, and that's the thing that gets me excited the most. So I'm going to ask you what you think about Messi staying. I know what you're going to say, but I think it's absolutely fantastic news.
Yeah, obviously Messi staying is brilliant news for Barcelona. If we want to be challenging for the top titles in the short term, which is what we're living in, no point trying to win titles in 3 years' time. Win them now. So we want Messi in our team. That's the simple thing about it. And in terms of sporting project, which I think it was good that you brought up, let's hope, because I don't think Messi would have stayed if he's just saying, oh, by the way, Messi, stay at Barcelona. You can cut your wage in half and we'll bring Aguero, Depay and Eric Garcia for free. Surely Messi wouldn't say, oh, yeah, what a project. So I'm hoping that Laporta still has something planned. I still feel as if Laporta will try and bring in not even like a big player, but just like a really solid signing. So a good signing, like a Laporte sort of player, a Gundogan, a Mahrez, a Bernardo Silva. I don't know, one of those sorts of players from Man City, like a good caliber level player to really enhance the team, not just free transfers. So that's what I'm hoping for when Laporta tells Messi, look, we are going to keep improving the team. And we're already seeing with all the news today, all the news we've gone through, that the club are selling players, which is really good news. Junior Firpo's on his way out. Braithwaite's on his way out. Pjanic, Alena will go soon. We've got Neto in goal probably. So we are selling players. Hopefully that means, there's more spaces for players to come in, and hopefully a sporting project for Messi is good. But in terms of, renewal, me and Hafeda, all just like you guys, we're just waiting for the official announcement.
Yeah, it's gonna be this. People are telling me. I mean, I got a lot of comments in my video yesterday saying that, oh, Messi's gonna leave. He's gonna go to City or PSG. I don't see him renewing. It's in my opinion. I've said this a lot. It was a done deal when Aguero came, because Aguero would not have come if Messi wasn't gonna stay, or at least it wasn't a chance. That's why I was really happy with the Aguero sign, morally for that. But it's a done deal. Not done deal, but like Barcelona's campaign's already been leaked. They're gonna go with love and then replace the L and the O with the number 10. All that sort of thing. But the question is when. People are saying, I'm saying in the chat too, the deal's not done. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. The question is when, because the club 100% want to do before the end of this month. They don't want the rumors coming out that they don't want a single second of Messi's contract expiring. So we'll wait and see. But of course, we have to give credit to the one man who's done all this, and that's Joan Laporta. What he has done since he has come into the club after the election has been unbelievable. 4 free transfers, Emerson for $9 million, which pretty much Todibo's transfer pays for that. Messi staying, the structure of the club, he's got the budget coming in, he's got the loan from Goldman Sachs. What he has done, it's not really, you can mention if you want to, but I only want to mention it because I want to give him massive credit.
Yeah. Not for sure. Yeah.
So it's just what he has done has been unbelievable. So now we've pretty much covered all the positions. Now I want to get into your questions. So make sure you guys get your questions in the chat, and we'll go through them quickly. The first one that I see, I think it's just funny. I just bring it up. Messi or Ronaldo? I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is now out of the Euros, and now there's a chance for Messi, can secure his GOAT status if he does get that Copa America. If not, it'll be, in the year. People are asking for a new signing in CDM. We have not been linked to anyone in any way, shape, or form. We've linked with Wijnaldum, that's it. But other than that, we have not been linked to anyone else. Is there anyone that you like a dream signing that you think is a little bit realistic that you'd bring in?
No, that's the weird thing. Like, there's never anyone at CDM like for Busquets' position. There's never anyone I think like I look at and I think, oh yeah, I really want him in CDM. There's never anyone like that, which is a little bit worrying. Maybe it would have to be from La Masia or change of formation with De Jong back there. I don't know, but yeah, right now, guys, nothing there.
Do you think Messi can win the 2021 Ballon d'Or? For me, he has to get that Copa America. If not, it's going to be a big question. If France win the Euro as well, I think, unfortunately. I'm not saying it in an unfortunate way, but N'Golo Kante, I don't think he's puts in a man-of-the-match performance against in the Champions League. All of a sudden, now he's the best player in the world. I think, as a Chelsea fan, you can let us know. I think his first half of the season was a bit mediocre. Then he's come in, put a couple good man-of-the-match performances in, and now all of a sudden he's a Ballon d'Or contender. So what do you think?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is the way the Ballon d'Or works. I don't really get it, but look, guys, we've seen it over years now. Luka Modric won it in 2018, and Messi finished 5th. So if you need any more proof about what the Ballon d'Or is like, then don't take it too seriously. Is what I'd say, guys. It's essentially on if your team has, say, for example, won the Champions League like Kante did with Chelsea, and if you're one of the main players in that run, like Kante was with Chelsea, and if you're one of the best players in the team, then chances are you're going to get a good shot at the Ballon d'Or. It's the same for whoever wins the Euros. If Portugal won the Euros, Ronaldo would have won the Ballon d'Or. If France won the Euros, Kante will win the Ballon d'Or. If Messi wins the Copa America, then he would have a good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. So unfortunately, it's not really who was the best player in 2021, which is literally what the award is. It's just not that. It's has your club won a trophy or has your club won the biggest trophy in this year? If so, we'll pick a player from that team and we'll give it to him. That's kind of the Ballon d'Or, basically, is my view on it. So, yeah.
So in that midfield, we've had some few comments about it. There's some comments about Palhinha from Portugal, the CDM for Sporting. I think he's decent, but again, that's another youth player coming in. We need someone for the experience. I think someone here is talking about Rodri from Man City. I think that's very unlikely. He's pretty much their starting CDM. What do you think about Palhinha, though? I don't know if you know about him or not.
Yeah, I mean, I only saw him for the first time properly. Obviously, I really don't watch any, if many Portuguese league games. So I think he plays there, doesn't he, at Palhinha? So yeah, look, I only first saw him in the Portuguese national team over this Euros, and look, he's been okay. It's great for him that he got the start, obviously, in a big game yesterday against Belgium. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be going out and signing him.
Yeah. Next question here, good one. There's reports coming up. I think before we went live about 10 minutes beforehand that I think it's from Luis Rojo from Marca. He's come out saying that Barcelona are considering renewing Roberto because there's no one that wants him and there's no one that he doesn't really want to leave, and the fact that they want to reduce his wages by renewing his contract. I think this is a big L for Barcelona because he just fits absolutely nowhere in this team. He's just going to be another player that takes a spot on the bench. He could be that midfielder. I mean, been there, done that. I think I honestly would rather bring in Paulinho than have Roberto in the midfield.
Yeah,
but it's for me, it's a bit of a concern. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning. There was some news at one point that it actually looked like Roberto could be on his way out. Like the contract talk stalled, but I think clearly what we're seeing in the last few days is Barcelona are trying to begin to finalize the team for next season. And I think it looks like they've decided, we'll settle with Roberto. We'll try and renew his contract. We'll make sure he's on a lower wage. And at least this way, he won't go for free at the end of next year. At least this way, we can sell him for that 25 million next summer or this summer if need be. That's the way I see this. Look, it looks like Roberto's going to be a part of the Barcelona squad again next season when before it was more 50-50. But this news tells us that he is going to be staying. Not ideal, but could see it happening.
wait and see. It's only coming in from one report. There's some
Yeah.
people saying in the chat as well that Man City will try to sign Griezmann if they don't get Jack Grealish or Harry Kane. They're gonna get Grealish. The question is, will they get Harry Kane or not? I still don't see them doing this. But what do you think? There's a possibility that Griezmann can go to Man City?
It could be, but I would find it weird. I don't see how it would fit into City's transfer strategy. Kind of the same thing I think of when there's always all this news about all the players we want from City. I don't get why they'd want Roberto or Griezmann. Really, it just doesn't really fit what they're trying to do. If it's not Haaland,
he kind of goes out there sometimes. You could play Griezmann as that false nine.
Yeah, he could. Griezmann's a great player. He really is. He's a little bit disrespected. I feel what he's done over the last decade, but I just still can't see City going for him with their transfer strategy. I think Kane is a great signing for them if they get it, and I think if not, then it would be Haaland. But Haaland's just ridiculous amount of money this summer, so that's probably why they're going for Kane, the Premier League option. So I see the Griezmann to City unlikely.
Do you think Haaland's going to go to Chelsea? This summer?
Yes and no.
You will listen. Don't lie. I know you were at home like, oh, we're going to get Haaland this summer.
It could happen because Abramovich has just won the Champions League with Chelsea. I think he feels that no one else can pay the 150 or whatever it is, 140, 160 that Haaland's worth this summer. And obviously next summer, Haaland's 75, isn't he? So, all 12 clubs will just say, we'll pay you 75. So then it's a race between everyone. And that's why Chelsea are confident. But again, it's whether they commit to the 150 because that is a lot of money. Yeah. So that is not going to be easy to commit to. That one is very, I don't know. It's not so clear right now.
Yeah, next summer is going to be the Haaland summer. And just to let you know, the Spain line has come out. It's Unai Simeone, Azpilicueta, Eric Garcia, Laporta, and Jose Gaya starting at left back.
Wow.
Pedri, Busquets, Koke, Sarabia, Morata, and Fernan Torres. So Gaya starting at left back. Damn.
Wow.
And then you have Eric Garcia at center back, Azpilicueta right back. Well, they put it out there as a 4-3-3. So.
That's a big start for Eric Garcia. Really big start. Wow.
Yeah. And Jose Gaya starting at left back as well. Yeah. Did he even play a minute yet? I don't think he has.
No. Alba's played all three.
Straight in there.
Wow.
Round 16. Yeah.
Wow.
So next question. When we talk about midfielders, there's probably about 5,000 comments that just came in out of nowhere all talking about Renato Sanchez. I think this flopped at Bayern Munich, flopped at Swansea. He does all right at Lille. Now all of a sudden he's great. He did win the Golden Boy Awards, which should, I guess, give him some sort of promise. But there's so many clubs that are interested in him. I don't think we can get him this summer. I think maybe next summer when we have some money, it could be a possibility. So what do you think about Renato Sanchez coming to Barcelona? Do you think it would be a good option?
To be fair, it would be a different profile in midfield for sure. Very good at bringing the ball forward, very powerful runner, but I mean, completely unlikely. Don't think that's going to be happening.
Yeah. Next question. There's been people asking about that midfielder from PSG that's going to be coming in, the former Barcelona player. Yeah, I've never heard of him before. So
was it Ruiz Atli? I think it is
something. Yeah, people are asking about him.
I haven't seen enough of him, but
yeah, why Barcelona B players getting promoted if they are not trusted? Well, because their time at the Barcelona B is up. You can't play for Barcelona B until you're 30, right? You play there when you're young, and then you move on. So people asking about Patrick Schick, like, just because he scored a couple goals in the Hero, doesn't mean he's going to be Barcelona material. Oh, this one's a good question. Ansu Fati going to be like a new signing? Hell yes, he will be. We have not seen. He's our star boy. He's don't want to jinx it, but the heir to Messi, right? And we have not seen him since November. And when he got injured, he was our best player ahead of Messi. Like, the thing is, right, when you come from a big injury like this, it's going to be a lot of pressure on the kid. I know if I can tell you right now for a fact he's going to come in first few games and not do anything, run around, maybe he'll score a goal, but you have to give him time to come back. This is a big injury, 3 operations, and we're lucky that he's playing again, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
what do you think about Ansu?
I'm hoping he just takes it slow,
Yeah, do you think that he's gonna come back and like break the ground running, or do you think he's gonna need time, like a month or so? That's what I think. I think we won't see the Ansu that we know until if he comes back preseason. I don't think we'll see him till like October, November time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping he comes back, slowly in preseason, gets a few minutes here and there, maybe off the bench. But I think once he's back though, then he can fire again, because he's that sort of player. He's very explosive. He's not really a player that kind of like drifts through games and periods. If he's on the pitch, he's going to be there to make a big impact. So he's that sort of player. I'm just looking forward to seeing him out there again and just hoping that he gets back to his level.
Mm-hmm. People asking about Brian Hill in the chat. I think he's a fantastic player, but again, right now, I think if we could afford him, I'd bring him in, but I don't know where he would fit. You already have Pedri and Ricky Puig as, that creative midfield area. He's kind of that kind of area, plus he can play on the left wing as well. But in the future, I wouldn't mind him. Do you think you take Brian Hill at Barca?
Yeah, I like Brian Hill. I think he's a good young player. He got picked for Spain, actually, in March. He did really well in those internationals. But, yeah, I mean, there were some rumours linking him to Barca, but right now our attack is very congested.
Speaking about the attack, we have a big question coming in here saying, from which position do you see Griezmann playing next season? Right wing, Dembele and Negro will be at center forward. Also, Ansu and Depay will be at left wing. I think Griezmann is the versatile player. He can play any of those three. I think more so on the left or the center forward. But then again, I think it depends on the system. If we're playing, a 4-3-3, I'd honestly bench Griezmann. If we're playing maybe a 4-2-3-1, I'd play him in that cam role behind the striker easily. We're playing a 3-5-2, again, maybe behind the two strikers or as one of the two strikers. But if we're playing a 4-3-3, I don't see him starting.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Griezmann can fill all three of those spots. So it's kind of, I think, at the start of the season, we always think, where on earth is Griezmann going to play? And then by the end of the season, he's played 45 out of the 55 games, and he's had a big role in one position or another. So he'll definitely find his spot in and amongst the team always.
Yeah. Some people are asking about Xavi Simeone in the chat. I think he's just signed a new contract with PSG. That's not going to happen. We'll take him back. I mean, after he snaked us, I don't know, but he's not coming to Barcelona. Someone asked, do you think we should swap Coutinho for Tielemans? Leicester City are interested in Coutinho, but Tielemans is probably their star player behind Jamie Vardy. No way they would do that. No way.
No, I would take it, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's such a steal for Barcelona. It's ridiculous. Are you watching Spain versus Croatia? Of course, Pablo's going to be there supporting Spain. I'll be there supporting Spain because the Barcelona boys. Do you think we should sell Busquets since he is old? I think Busquets has a year or two left in him, but the question is, will his downfall be as big as some other players that we've seen? I think next season he shouldn't really be the starter. I think we should start, playing other players more than him. But then again, if they don't perform, you gotta throw in Busquets in there. Yeah. I'll ask you this question, kind of to add to his question. How long left do you think Busquets has at the top level?
Oh, I mean, at the very top, maybe 2 more seasons with Barcelona. But even then, I think we've got to be careful in terms of big Champions League nights when we're not playing in our ideal style. Because in the past, Busquets, he loves playing in teams that play great football. But the issue with Barcelona nowadays is when we play PSG, for example, we're not playing that amazing football. So Busquets gets caught out and he's getting pulled all over the park, and it just becomes painful to watch. So that's where we've got to be careful, just managing his game time and just managing also the sort of football we play and seeing if he fits in that. But I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more years, I think he can still be a starter, to be fair. But we have got to start thinking about replacements and ways to form a new midfield.
Yeah. Someone's saying here about Morata. I'm hoping that you're joking. I think that's probably a better joke than my Vermaelen joke, but I wouldn't pay a dime for Morata. I wouldn't pay a dime. This one's coming in saying, if Laporta manages to sell Coutinho, Dembele, and Umtiti, then Barcelona will surely be back to their best. I think if just Juan Laporta finishes this summer with 25 players, we'll be back to our best, because right now we got 35 with loans coming back in, or 33, something like that. Mm-hmm. So him just getting the number down to 25, I think, would be a miracle in itself. What's this one? If we don't get Laporte, who would be your starting center back to accompany Araujo for next season? I don't think Araujo would be a starter. I think for me, as of right now, it's Eric Garcia and PK. I think that's what Koeman's thinking right now. What do you think?
Wow, really? Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, yeah. I think everyone has high hopes for Araujo, though, and we can't forget that Mingueza started almost every Barcelona game last season as well. But maybe he will start with PK and Eric Garcia. It would also depend on how far Spain get in the Euros, because Eric Garcia could be gone for a long time, and then we'll come back to pre-season a little bit later than the others. So, but I mean, same can be said for Araujo, to be fair. And Mingueza's just going to the Olympics now with Spain, actually. So there could be some issues at centre-back, but of course we can't forget about the other one in Lenglet. He'll still be there. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are thinking Eric Garcia and Araujo. But yeah, I mean, it'll be hard to bench PK.
You brought up a good point that I want to talk about real quick before we end the live stream, and that is the Olympics. Apparently right now, 7 Barcelona players could be going to the Olympics. Of course, with one of them right now being Mengueza, we don't know the other 7. I think that's ridiculous. I think, like, how are we going to let 7 players go, then come back with like 2 weeks left before the season starts? I think I get it. You want a gold medal, but I think that could be a big problem for Barcelona. Do you think that's too many players going, or do you think?
Yeah, I would hope it wouldn't be 7. In terms of 7, are they thinking, like, are they thinking it's going to be some Barca B players as well? Yeah, like Iñaki Peña and I don't know, Tenas maybe. Yeah,
I have no idea. It's just 7 Barcelona players. I know it's not going to be Emerson because he's with the Copa America squad, so I know he's not going to be going to the Olympics.
Yeah, I was just thinking
but then he got called up to Brazil after he got injured.
The Olympics, it's mainly young players that they take, isn't it? And then they pick some older players, like it's many under 23 squads, I think. That's what I'm thinking, younger players. But yeah, I mean, if we think about players coming back late from the Euros, injuries on top of the Olympics, it's going to be an odd preseason, isn't it? Really weird.
We'll see. I'm just hoping it's not going to be like the legs of Busquets and Garcia and them players. If it's just Mengueza and then maybe Ana Uteas and Iñaki Peña, I wouldn't mind it, of course, but we'll see. And I want to finally end the live stream off with this question. I know you can go on forever with this question, but we'll make it short. So who do you think will be our next 3 or 4 signings? I think for me, we're going to make 3 more signings: center mid, left back, and hopefully a center back. I don't know the personnel, but I think those would be the 3 positions.
Agreed.
So Romano's coming out saying that City are trying to get Jack Grealish and Harry Kane. So I'm telling you what, guys, you have to watch out for City because they get both of them. They're gonna be desperate to sell their players. I do believe that Barcelona will go for their players. So nothing's gonna happen.
I still feel as if Laporta will push. I said that earlier. I still feel as if we could sign a Man City player. So I think you're right to say to the cult for that. So let's see.
Nothing's gonna happen for the Euros, and Pep really wants Grealish more, and they've already bid for Harry Kane, which obviously got rejected. So we'll see. Watch out for those City players, but I can't really tell you the personnel because we have no idea. I think left back, you kind of have an idea. Jose Gaya, maybe someone else. Center back, only American Laporta, but center mid, I have no idea. If you told me to make a bet, I don't even know who I'd bet. I'd hear I'm like Gundogan, Paulinho. Like I think right now Paulinho has the highest chance just because he's free. So, anyways, guys, we've gone on for just under an hour now, so we're gonna end it here. Paul's gonna go get ready and watch Spain. We'll see what happens with that because if Spain lose, watch out. We won't see Pablo for another week or so. So we'll see what happens in that game. But thanks everyone for joining. Thank you again, Pablo, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Of course, go check out Pablo. His link is in the title. Managed to get it on there this time. Of course, Barca University, you can just YouTube search it. But that's going to be the end of this live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, drop a like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next one. I think Pablo wants to do one this week, so we'll see what happens with us doing another live stream. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the Euros, and we'll see you again soon.
See ya.